For Irina and her daughter, arriving in Melbourne was bittersweet. They escaped Ukraine and they're grateful to be safe, but worried about the loved ones they've left behind.
Wearied by a war she never wanted, Ukrainian woman Irina has travelled half a world away to keep her daughter safe from Putin's shells as her countrymen and women continue to hold out.
Friends have already died. This is really hard. I don't even know how they find the strength to be able to do this. She already knows of friends who have been killed just in the last day or two.
Now safe with relative Christina Kamech in regional Victoria, Irina's heart remains firmly with the friends and family she left behind, as Christina translates.
I'm here, but my soul is in Ukraine.
The mother of two travelled to Australia with 15-year-old daughter Nastya. Irina's older daughter works in Ukraine's public service and duty has called her to stay. Do you hope your other daughter will join you here in Australia?
She hopes that she can also be here and be safe, and at this stage we don't know where that's at.
When Irina's Australian visa was approved, she managed to cross the border into Poland before flying from Warsaw to Singapore, then landing in Melbourne. 4,000 Ukrainians have already taken up the offer of an Australian tourist visa, and the Prime Minister today requested that any others seeking to escape the war will have their applications fast-tracked. Irina was warmly greeted at Melbourne Airport as Australian Ukrainians band together to support their nation under fire. How do you explain the passion and love of country that we're seeing from Ukrainians around the world?
Simple, it's the Ukrainian spirit.
With more expected to arrive from Ukraine in the coming weeks, Melbourne's Asylum Seeker Resource Centre has been busy packing food and essentials for the new arrivals.
One of the first things we can do and can do quickly is to make them feel welcome, to make them feel supported, and we're doing that through food and care packages.
Gianna Favero is the centre's Director for Advocacy. As Gianna explains, Ukrainians are currently being offered a 9-month tourist visa, which doesn't include rights to work or access to Medicare. It's hoped this will be reviewed as the conflict continues.
So people are really calling in a panic because they're wanting to know what will happen with their future, how they can get their kids to school, how they can access medicines, all these normal things you would want when arriving in a country, let alone having fled a war zone, very suddenly separated from your family and trying to make the best you can out of a really difficult situation.
In the meantime, Inna Middleman is providing solutions through a Facebook group she founded called Help for Displaced Ukrainians, connecting arrivals with Aussies who can provide advice or even shelter.
There's a lot of people offering accommodation and various other things. We've already placed quite a few families.
Inna's family comes from Belarus, whose president, Alexander Lukashenko, is a big fan of Vladimir Putin's. It's a view that Inna doesn't share.
Oh, look, he's a whole separate issue. I mean, he's not a president. He's dragging my country into the war that my country doesn't want. I mean, this is like Ukrainians and Belarusians are brothers.
Back at Christina's, she shows us an air raid warning system that's been created for Ukrainian mobile phone users. A red warning means rockets are imminent.
That lasts for as long as that airstrike is happening. So these can go for 5 hours, these can go for half an hour, as long as the airstrike is in the area and it's telling people to take cover and to take shelter.
You were saying Irina is still receiving these even now she's here?
Yes, we've talked about her switching them off, but of course with family still there, in one way it's telling her that things are happening over there even though she's not living it, but then she's aware of the danger that they're under because it is war. It's happening. It's not a movie, Seb. It's war. It's the reality. It's the rawness of that moment, and she needs to know what is happening to her family.
It's hard to fathom that there are people living like this at the moment in that sort of danger.
And a few weeks ago, Seb, it was just a normal life.